Okay, let's dive in. We are getting into a text that really shifted how people think about technology and identity. Donna Haraway's A Cyborg Manifesto.
Right.
And our mission here is to sort of unpack it, to understand why this idea of the cyborg is framed as a political myth for survival.
And what's so key right from the start is that her cyborg isn't just, a robot from a movie. It's a cybernetic organism, sure, a hybrid of machine and organism.
A hybrid, right.
But she's using it as a creature of social reality. She basically argues the line between sci-fi and your actual life is an optical illusion.
And her whole attitude, her approach to this is so important. She frames it around irony and blasphemy.
Yeah, which can sound a little intimidating.
It does, but it's not about being cynical. It's about, celebrating contradiction, taking things seriously, but also refusing to just fall in line with a moral majority.
Exactly, and the cyborg is at the very heart of that. So Haraway says the whole late 20th century is defined by the breakdown of three huge Western boundaries.
A border war, she calls it.
A border war we're all living in.
Okay, let's take the first one, which feels like the biggest. The human versus the animal.
Mm-hmm. That distinction, she says, is completely breached.
Why, though? What's the argument?
Well, none of the old arguments really hold up anymore. Language, tool use, consciousness. Nothing really separates us in a clean way now.
And the cyborg is what appears in that blurry space.
Exactly. It signals that disturbingly and pleasurably tight coupling between us and the animal world.
Okay, so that's one boundary down. What about the next one? The line between an organism and a machine.
So this is another huge one. Pre-cybernetic machines, you could think of them as being like haunted by a ghost.
Yeah.
There was a separation.
Sure.
But now, our machines are almost disturbingly lively. Think about AI. And at the same time, we humans can be frighteningly inert, just waiting for the next notification.
So the line is just, it's totally ambiguous.
Profoundly ambiguous.
That feels like it feeds directly into the third boundary then, the physical versus the non-physical. How does that dissolve?
It's all about miniaturization, the microchip. Suddenly the mechanism is invisible.
Right.
Small isn't just beautiful anymore, it's dangerous. A cruise missile is guided by signals you can't see. Modern machines are just light. They're electromagnetic waves.
So with these three boundaries, human, animal, organism, machine, physical, non-physical, just completely collapsing, what kind of power structure emerges from that?
She gives it a name, the informatics of domination.
Which is a mouthful.
It is, but in plain terms, it just means a shift from an industrial society to an information system. We're no longer workers on a factory floor, we're biotic components in a network.
We're data points.
We are. And reproduction isn't messy biology anymore. It's clean replication.
But isn't rejecting some kind of original unity really hard? I mean, don't most movements need a Garden of Eden myth to look back to?
And that's the radical part. The cyborg refuses that dream. It doesn't want to go back to the garden.
So what does it want?
It's intensely needy for connection. But it's completely wary of holism. It commits to being partial, to having partial identities. It just skips that step of original unity.
So it's an illegitimate promise then, a way to subvert things from the inside.
That's the idea. You don't need to be whole to fight back. You just need to connect the pieces you have.
So what this deep dive really shows is the cyborg as a framework for survival. It's about seizing the tools, the technology, the writing that marked you as other and using them yourself.
Right. And since Haraway concludes she'd rather be a cyborg than a goddess, it leaves a final thought for you.
Yeah.
What structures or ideas in your own life still depend on that myth of original unity? And what would it really mean to embrace the power of being a messy, monstrous, powerful hybrid instead?